Radio starts right now.
Making news this morning, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is coming to the Alamo City today.
Plus, the investigation into the Uvalde school shooting takes another step forward today.
Outside with Live Camp, just as hot as we thought it was going to be this weekend. But if you were very, 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 very lucky yesterday, you got a shower or perhaps a thunderstorm. We'll see where things stand for the new work week. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, and that means it is July 11th.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I think you're right about that. Very well put. Very, very, very lucky. Were you?
No, it was close. It was close.
Wow.
I saw him, and I saw Justin Horn's post yesterday before I finally headed to bed. It said something like, you got 6 drops at your place?
6, maybe 7.
Okay,
it was agonizing. I could hear the thunder. Good. I could smell the rain. I got a couple drops, but that was it. It's okay. Some folks did, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And that brought a big drop in temperatures under those storms.
Well, that's what's funny. The big drop in temperatures, it took us down to like 98.
Yes.
So it was an improvement, but we were up around 106, 107. I mean, the temperatures yesterday were incredible. We had records broken all over the place. 106 here in San Antonio, 107 Pleasanton, 106 Eagle Pass, 107 in Del Rio. The list goes on and on. There were records, again, all over the place. And we're going to see temperatures just as hot today, if not maybe a little bit hotter here in San Antonio. We're forecasting 107, some places as high as 108. Now, you see some 90s here, and that's because this model is thinking we could see a few more cooling showers and storms this afternoon. We'll see. It'll be just like yesterday, hit or miss, a lucky few get some rain, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Heat advisories go on. Excessive heat warnings still there. This does not change today. And of course, ERCOT putting out some warnings here that the energy usage is going to be peaking this afternoon. They're asking people to voluntarily conserve later today. 82, 6 o'clock, 82, 7 a.m. By noontime, 98 degrees. We're already near 100 by midday. And by 4 o'clock, 106. That's when we start to put in some small rain chances in the forecast. That'll be the case again into the evening as well. We'll talk much more about this. We'll also look at who got rain yesterday. That's coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. The First Lady of the United States making a trip to the Alamo City today. Dr. Joe Biden will be a speaker at the Latinx Inclusion Luncheon. It's a part of the Unidos U.S. annual conference. Organizers of the yearly event say it aims to bring people together to discuss issues on housing, health, and education, just to name a few. This is the first time the conference will be held in person since the COVID-19 pandemic started.
This morning, a man is facing aggravated robbery charges in San Marcos. That's after police say he tried to shoot up an Academy store with air-powered guns that shot pellets. Now, the incident happened last night, according to the San Marcos Police Department Facebook's page. Police say the suspect stole 3 CO2 pistols, left the store, and attempted to load the weapon in the parking lot. A witness called police, and store employees began evacuating people through the back of the store. By the time police got there, the suspect re-entered the store and was stopped by an off-duty officer. No injuries were reported.
In Uvalde, there are new calls to release video of the police response to the massacre at Robb Elementary School.
The community is demanding transparency as the investigation takes a new step forward today. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has more.
Hundreds gathered in sweltering heat in Uvalde, Texas Sunday to honor those who lost their lives in the school massacre on May 24th.
What I want, no one can give me. I want my daughter back.
Many are pushing for new gun safety measures.
We are asking to change the gun laws. More background checks, mental checks. Please change our laws so no more babies could be taken from us.
And many more are voicing outrage.
We want answers, we seek justice, and we demand change.
For more than a month, families have demanded to know why it took police more than 1 hour to take down the shooter at Robb Elementary School, where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. But little has been officially revealed about the police response that day.
From the mayor down, nobody's telling the people nothing.
Today, the Uvalde County Sheriff is expected to testify before a state investigative committee amid new calls to release a 77-minute video from the school's hallway surveillance cameras. So far, only still images have been seen. The mayor says he supports releasing the full video to help families understand what happened. He's disputing a report released last week that claims an officer missed an opportunity to shoot the gunman before he entered the school because he was waiting for permission from his supervisor. The mayor says that report, quote, doesn't give a complete and accurate account of what happened. The mayor insists no officer saw the shooter before he entered the building. As for that video from the school hallway, it is up to the district attorney whether to release it. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
President Biden hosted a celebration of a new bipartisan law meant to reduce gun violence. Congress passed the measure after gun rampages in Buffalo, New York and Uvalde. It incrementally toughens requirements for young people to buy guns, denies firearms to more domestic abusers, and helps local authorities temporarily take weapons from people judged to be dangerous. The White House event comes a week after a gunman in Highland Park, Illinois, killed 7 people in an Independence Day parade. The shooting a reminder of the limitations of this new law.
An upcoming hearing of the House Committee probing Capitol riots is expected to examine ties between people in former President Donald Trump's circle and extremist groups who played a role in that incident. Now, top leaders of the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys have been charged with seditious conspiracy in the most serious cases the Justice Department has pursued so far. At least 2 men close to Trump, longtime friend Roger Stone and former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, have known contacts with extremists who in some cases are accused to have been involved in the January 6 riots.
Ukrainian emergency workers have been working to pull people out of the rubble after a Russian rocket attack smashed into 3 apartment buildings in eastern Ukraine, killing at least 15 people. More than 20 people were believed to still be trapped overnight. It was just the latest deadly Russian attack to hit civilian buildings. 21 people were killed earlier this month when an apartment building and recreation area came under fire in southern Odessa region. Another 19 people died when a Russian missile hit a shopping mall in June. Russia claims that it is only hitting military targets. Right now, 436, about 84 degrees.
And coming up next, the San Antonio Spurs looking good at first against Golden State in Las Vegas. We're going to have some of those highlights.
Checking Trans Guide right now, see how things are out there. First look at the roads this morning. Busy out there at 90 and Couples, but not so much at 90 and 36th Street.
And taking a look outside with live cam. For now, we are at 84 degrees. Wow, is that right? Pretty humid out there. We'll be right back.
Spurs in the Las Vegas Summer League last night. 25th overall pick Blake Wesley put on a show in Game 1 against the Cavs with a game-high 20 points. He was rolling against Golden State. First quarter, Wesley steps back and drains a triple. Had 5 of the Spurs' first 7 points. A few plays later, Josh Primo comes alive and hits a 3-ball of his own, and San Antonio leads 13-11. Spurs outscored Golden State 25-10 in the second, and they lead 48-34 at the break. San Antonio would lead going in the third. However, Golden State would start a slow but effective comeback. Late in the game, the two teams were tied. And that's when Golden State's James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga capped a big night with a tie-breaking free throw with 8 seconds left, leading the Warriors to an 86-85 victory over the Spurs. Kuminga had 28 points on 10 of 22 shooting with 7 rebounds for Golden State. Blake Wesley scored 22 for the Spurs. Darius Day had 17 and 13 rebounds. Josh Carlton had 10 points and 11 rebounds. Josh Primo had 10 points for San Antonio. Primo, who was taken 12th by the Spurs in the 2021 draft, shot just 2 of 15 from the field and 1 of 5 from three-point range.
It was actually fun, seeing those guys on TV, being out there on the court with them at the same time. It really was cool. But we all play basketball. We gotta compete. So they came out on top. There's some things that we could have cleaned up. But, we're gonna shake back and get back next time.
It's guys like that who you want to compete against. You want to prove yourself. You want to show that you can contain them and give them problems too. We're trying to learn how to win. We got a lot of young guys here, so games like that, you never want to lose close games, but they teach you how to win them.
With the departure of DeJounte Murray to the Hawks and Lonnie Walker to the Lakers, that leaves the Spurs short on corporate knowledge. Jakob Poeltl, the most tenured Spur, but he could be headed out the door. Since he's in the last year of his contract, there are rumors as many as 4 teams are interested in trading for the center. If that happens, that leaves 22-year-old Keldon Johnson with the most minutes in silver and black. Johnson about to start his 4th season, coming off a career year. So how does Keldon feel about taking on more of a leadership role?
It's definitely a big opportunity, like I said before, we lost some big pieces, but it's just time to step up. We got to keep evolving, keep getting better, keep grinding. And I kind of been in the system the longest, so I feel like you know, just leading these guys, tell them the ins and outs, and you know, we all gonna have learning moments in the upcoming years. So you know, it's gonna be up and down, but just staying even keel throughout that, and you know, continue to be myself through the thick and thin.
So the Summer League in Vegas continues tonight. Spurs take on the Rockets at 6 o'clock. Thursday, the Spurs take on the Atlanta Hawks. San Antonio Missions 2 weeks into the second half of the season. That's after winning the first half championship with a 38-29 record, guaranteeing them a spot in the playoffs. Quite an accomplishment considering they started the season 2-11. Looks like they're going to need some of that first half magic. The team's only 4-8 in the first 12 games of the second half. And even after sending 5 players up to AAA, the Missions are confident they can get back on the winning track.
You know what? We won the first half. We started out 2-11. We're not off to a very good start this half. So, you know, we talk every day. You know, I have a meeting with them every day, and you know, we know what it takes because we did it the first half, and hopefully we can repeat. You know, we're going to have to figure out some things and get better at it, and if we want any chance at all to advance in the playoffs.
All you got to do is just go out there, and after one win, you know, you just kind of get on a roll. You know, so you win 2, 3 in a row. It's a streak. And you forget about, you know, the games that you lost earlier on in the week or in the season, you know, but you learn from those games, you get better, you know, and after a couple games, it's all, you know, sunshine and rainbows again.
They're off to a good start this week. Missions taking on Frisco last night, just a night after being shut out. Missions responded with a shutout of their own. Missions win 10-0 against the Rough Riders this week. The team travels to Amarillo to take on those Prairie Dogs, a.k.a. the Sod Poodles, starting tomorrow. And that's a look at morning sports.
I like that. Sunshine and rainbows. We'll take it. Time now, 4:44 and 84 degrees for now. A quick look at the roads with TransGuide, looking there at I-10 in Frio and I-10 at Callahan, but we are hearing that there's construction along Loop 410 and McCullough Road, so just be aware of that. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It is 4:47. Amber Heard's legal team is filing a motion for a mistrial over the identity of one of the jurors in the defamation trial. ABC's Eva Pilgrim has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA for Heard's motion for a mistrial.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Heard's team now pushing for a mistrial, claiming the wrong person showed up and was seated as a juror in the trial.
Once people are summoned to jury duty, they need to sign in by phone and they need to use their date of birth. They're accepted as the person that they claim to be.
In June, 36-year-old Heard was found guilty of 3 defamation claims after being sued by her ex-husband Depp for $50 million.
It's insane to hear heinous accusations of violence.
And coming up at 7 a.m., what a spokesperson for Heard told ABC News overnight. And we'll talk live to legal expert Dan Abrams. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Checking TransGuide, Steph's right. We're seeing some slowdowns right by North Star and Park North Shopping Center right now due to construction. Eastbound lanes of 410 are affected right now, right there by San Pedro. Not seeing that on any of these shots. We're also seeing some westbound traffic slowdowns right now. 1604 westbound at Stone Oak Parkway. There is the situation 410 and McCullough.
Very good. And I know you didn't see rain, but you saw 6 drops of rain.
6 to 7.
Okay, 6 to 7 drops
Yeah,
of rain.
it did cool us down briefly, and then temperatures warmed right back up. I mean, the numbers were nothing short of impressive yesterday, and really this morning too. We're still sitting in the mid-80s, okay? We haven't cooled down at all. The concern today, this afternoon, ERCOT is asking people to voluntarily reduce their energy use as we get into the afternoon, and here's why. I know it's kind of hard to see here on the screen, but this is the demand, the forecast demand, and this is capacity. And by the time we get into the afternoon, it's going to be a very close call. Now, ERCOT says there's plenty of energy to go around. We'll see how this plays out, but we're getting into that situation where we get some extreme temperatures, and they're asking people to try to help out this afternoon if you can. The hottest temperature all time, I had this question yesterday. What is the hottest it's ever been here in San Antonio? The answer, 111. That was set back in 2000. 2011, we got up to 110. 2000, 109. Yesterday, 106. Well, that ties us for 6th hottest all time, and we're forecasting 107 today, so we're probably going to jump up the list a little bit if we indeed reach that temperature later today. So some big numbers. These are record numbers yesterday. And as we mentioned, there was a little bit of rainfall. Some places lucked out. Vanderpool, almost an inch of rain there. Bandera, about half an inch. Comfort, 0.12 of an inch. Nothing at the airport, but if you're around 281 and 1604, 0.83, Spring Branch, about 1/4 of an inch. Natural Bridge Caverns picked up about 0.3 of an inch. So it's kind of northern Barrett County, Commute County, and then out across the hill country. Most of San Antonio, unfortunately, like me, only saw a couple of drops. So we go outside for you at this hour. 86 still, 83 Stinson, 83 Kelly. It's really hard to wrap your mind around the fact that we have not cooled down below 85 degrees at the airport. 78 Hondo, 71 Kerrville, 82 in New Braunfels. It's 84 Carrizo Springs. So with this in mind, knowing that we're starting out in the low 80s, you can imagine we're going to get a head start here on temperatures. The forecast heat index today, as we get those numbers up to around 103, 106 by the afternoon, could go as high as 108, 109. So there are going to be heat advisories, excessive heat warnings back in effect today. For that reason, it's another somewhat dangerous day. We're also going to watch for a few storms this afternoon. I think this is going to play out very similar to yesterday, where it's mostly sunny until about 2 or 3 o'clock. Then we'll start to see some of those clouds developing, bubble up into a few showers or storms. A lucky few could get a cooling downpour. We're going to call for a 20% chance of rain. Most of this dies down around 8 p.m. or so. Tomorrow we do it all again. 20% chance of rain again, 3 to 4 o'clock. Most of this dies down by 8 o'clock. So a couple of opportunities here. These are not drought-busting showers and storms, but they will cool us down just a little bit. High pressure is still very much in control here, and swings around a little bit, maybe moves a little bit further east. So our temperatures come down some as we get into next week. We'll also be watching this little area of low pressure that comes out of Georgia. Could this develop into something tropical? Hurricane Center's keeping an eye on it. Right now, small chance, 30% chance of development as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. At this point, does not look like it would have much of an effect on our forecast. But we'll let you know if anything does develop down there once it gets there. We still got time to watch it. Here's the extended forecast. 107 today, 104 Tuesday, 103 on Wednesday. We're putting together quite a string of triple-digit heat here. Some very small chances of rain, I'd say, through Friday. Probably our best shot today, maybe again on Thursdays, we get a little more moisture in here, and maybe we drop below 100 degrees, for a day. We're back in the triple digits by the weekend.
Come on, Thursday.
Yeah,
99. Woo. Thank you, Justin.
You got it.
452, about 84 degrees at San Antonio International Airport.
And coming up next, another big milestone for Stranger Things Season 4. We're going to tell you how many billion minutes have been watched of last week's finale.
Thor reigns at the box office, and Stranger Things continues to break records.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Let me tell you the story of the Space Viking.
To absolutely no one's surprise, Thor: Love and Thunder debuted in first place at the weekend box office.
Am I sensing feelings?
Well, you're right. The latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the fourth starring Chris Hemsworth's God of Thunder earned $143 million domestically.
Unlike the other gods of kill.
That's about what was expected and the third biggest movie bow of the year. Add overseas earnings and Love and Thunder's global opening gross rockets to $302 million.
You're terribly frightened by what you've seen.
Nielsen reports fans watched 4.2 billion minutes of last week's final 2 season 4 episodes of Stranger Things, making it the most viewed show on streaming in a single week in history. Rock legend Carlos Santana's postponed the next 6 scheduled shows on his current tour as he continues to recover from a health scare last week. And former Bon Jovi guitarist Richie Sambora's 63 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
And time now, 4:57 and 84 degrees for now.
Coming up on GMSA, a look ahead to today's hearing on the Capitol riots. The House committee is expected to examine ties between people tied to former President Trump and extremist groups.
And are you tired of people calling and asking about your car's extended warranty?
No, bring it. Call more.
All day long, right? What the FCC is doing about it coming up in Tech Bites.
Breakfast, cleaning, work, lunch, dinner, soccer practice, swim team, so much to do, so little time. Are the shortcuts you're taking at mealtime that are not the healthiest for your kids? Probably not the healthiest for your kids. The answer coming up on GMSA at 6:30.
And a quick look at the roads with the Trans Guide. There's a construction that we've been talking about all morning, Loop 410 at McCullough. Things are at a slowdown right now, but we'll be checking in with Stephen Cavazos very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making news this morning, the Uvalde County Sheriff gets ready to testify before the Texas panel investigating the massacre at Robb Elementary.
Steve Bannon now preparing to testify before the January 6th committee. I'm Jay O'Brien in Washington. We have why coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're having a warm morning starting at 83 degrees after some very lucky people saw some rain yesterday.
And we tied and shattered some temperature records around here, so down to only 83 degrees. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday the 11th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, and maybe hope some of you saw some rain yesterday.
That's right. There were some showers in the area, and we'll see if there's any more in the forecast. I know it's a likely no, Justin Horan.
Well, there are chances, but it's going to be like yesterday where it's going to be very hit or miss, and most of us will not get any rain. I'm hoping that you do. I know we all need at least a little bit. And the cool down is nice because temperatures are going to be way up there again today. In fact, I think we could go a little bit warmer than what we were looking at yesterday. Let's first start with some records here. 32. That's the number of 100-degree days so far this year. And man, we are way ahead of pace to break some records here. 2009, we had 59, 57 in 2011. We were way ahead of that pace to get above those numbers if everything continues the way it is, and it looks like it will. We're closing in on 2013 there, where they saw 41 days at 100 or above. The temperatures this morning, they're trying to fall off some, but they're not having a lot of success here. 84 is what it feels like right now. 84 is the air temperature. 87 is what it feels like. 82 in Converse. The heat index is 85. New Braunfels, it feels like 83. So very little relief. We're getting off to a pretty warm start here, which means temperatures will jump back up to around 107 today. That's what we're forecasting. 108 in Elmendorf, 107 in Floresville. And I know you see some cooler temperatures here. This is because the model is anticipating some rain around 5 o'clock that maybe could cool temperatures back down into the 90s. We'll see. Again, it'll be one or two storms popping up and trying to work their way into Bexar County this evening. There is a window there for that. In the meantime, heat advisories, excessive heat warnings in effect again today. No surprise, just looking at how the temperatures are shaping up. Now, it does cool off some as we get into the middle part of the week, but not much. Look at that 7-day forecast is coming up in a bit. And Stephen, looks like we have a couple of issues starting to show up.
That's right, Justin. No relief on the roads over here off Loop 410 at McCullough, not far from North Star Mall. Just check it out. We do have the highway closed right now as we have crews out there working on the roadway. Now, KSAT has not listed a whole lot of information at this time, but we do know that this work started yesterday, and we're still seeing the impacts this morning. You can see right now traffic is exiting there along the frontage road. We're not really seeing so much of a big delay, but a lot of traffic is showing on those TransGuide cameras, so an area to watch closely as the morning does progress. But I want to take you right to the map because this just popped up here off Loop 1604 southbound near Bandera Road. A crash reported over here near the northwest side. No information just yet, but I did just text our friends at TransGuide trying to get a shot there so we can show you the conditions, but an area to also watch out for. And we'll watch these areas closely and give you those alternative routes as the morning does go on. Giving you a wide look at the map at 504. Again, that slowdown, we saw it on 410, seeing this crash on the northwest side, but pretty much that's it. A lot of active construction spots as well. We'll continue to break that down throughout the morning, but if your travels are going to take you right here to the Alamo City, green across the board. No need to worry and no need to rush. 24 minutes on I-10 eastbound if the journey is coming in from Bernie, and right now 27 minutes on 281 in Bulverde, so no need to hurry there, and 28 minutes, not too awful, coming in from New Braunfels on 35 southbound. So again, looking good there, but not looking good here at 410 at McCullough. We'll watch this spot closely and give you those updates in the next few minutes. Mark, Steph?
Thank you, Stephen. The Uvalde County Sheriff Ruben Lasco is expected to testify today before the Texas panel investigating the massacre at Robb Elementary. He will participate via video teleconference. He initially refused to do so and then changed his mind after being issued an official notice. The Texas House Investigative Committee's preliminary report into the Uvalde school massacre could be released within the next 10 days.
Hundreds of people from around the state marched alongside the families of the victims of the Uvalde school shooting to speak for the 21 unheard voices. In the extreme heat, people marched a mile from Robb Elementary to the main plaza. Some family members who spoke criticized lawmakers and the Uvalde CISD school board for not providing a safer campus.
Job to make sure children are safe and secure while attending school. It's your job to make sure parents can trust that their children will have a safe learning environment. It's sad that there are children and teachers that are afraid to come back to school. I know I am.
And others speaking say they have also criticized the law enforcement response, where officers waited 77 minutes before entering the classroom where students and teachers were killed.
This morning, ERCOT urging Texas to conserve energy today as we expect to see extreme temperatures again. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas operates the power grid for the state. In a press release, ERCOT is urging people and businesses to voluntarily conserve electricity today between the hours of 2 and 8 p.m. They have also issued a call for what they call projected reserve capacity shortages for the same time frame. However, it says no system-wide outages are expected. ERCOT has been heavily scrutinized for its handling of the 2021 deadly winter storm. For a list of ways to help conserve, head over to KSAT.com.
In Washington this morning, Steve Bannon, the one-time top advisor to former President Donald Trump, now says he will cooperate with the congressional committee investigating the deadly January 6th insurrection.
And as ABC's Jay O'Brien reports, that's after Bannon refused to speak with the committee for months and faced possible jail time for ignoring a subpoena.
This morning, Steve Bannon reversing course, telling the January 6th committee he's willing to testify. Bannon and the committee initially locked in a legal battle for months. The conservative firebrand and former Trump White House strategist facing criminal contempt charges after refusing to comply with a congressional subpoena. He and former President Donald Trump claiming executive privilege, even though Bannon left his White House job in 2017. But in this new letter obtained by ABC News, Trump now clearing Bannon to appear before the committee, saying, quote, "I watched how unfairly you and others have been treated."
I expect that we will be hearing from him, and there are many questions that we have for him.
The committee maintaining there's evidence Bannon knew about the Capitol attack in advance, a day before the riot, saying this on his podcast.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
Bannon's decision to testify coming days after the committee heard from former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone. Once the top White House lawyer, Cipollone repeatedly mentioned by Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to Trump's chief of staff.
Mr. Cipollone said something to the effect of, "Please make sure we don't go up to the Capitol."
In a recorded interview, Cipollone facing questions Friday for 8 hours.
You'll see over the next couple hearings a little of what he said, but at no point was there any contradiction of what anybody said.
In a letter to the January 6th committee, Bannon's attorney says his client wants to testify live and in public. But one committee member says that might not be the case because of the number of questions committee investigators have for Bannon. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
508, 83 degrees.
And still ahead, we're here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty, just kidding, and how the FCC is trying to get rid of all those spam calls.
Good luck, right? Up next, an amazing story of survival and persistence as a survivor of a 2010 Haitian earthquake who lives here in San Antonio is now officially a U.S. citizen.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're in the 80s this morning. Warm morning to start our warm week. We'll be right back.
512, it's a story we here at KSAT have followed for more than a decade.
Bethlehem Paul, survivor of the 2010 Haitian earthquake, is now a U.S. citizen. At 10 years old, Paul came to the U.S. after being crushed and trapped for hours in her school following the 7.0 magnitude quake. Now, Paul's leg was saved by doctors at Christus Santa Rosa Children's Hospital, and she was taken in for 2 years by a familiar face, KSAT's Steve Spriester and his family. Now her family is here in San Antonio. They cheer alongside the Spriesters as Paul became a U.S. citizen on Friday.
I am Bethlehem. I am Haitian. I am American. I am silly. I am corny. I am someone who absolutely loves other people.
As far as what's next for Bethlehem, she says she wants to go back to being a flight attendant while she finishes her degree. In the future, she'd like to open up her own holistic clinic with medical techniques from around the world to help people in whatever way they may need. But congratulations on your citizenship, Bethlehem.
Congratulations and wishing you the best.
We know the Spriester family is super proud.
Yes, definitely. Time now, 5:13 and 83 degrees for now.
Well, still ahead, details on Spotify quietly rolling out a real-time lyrics feature that some of us really need.
And why Verizon is sending free 4G flip phones to certain kinds of customers.
Meet Febrez's Miracle Spray, Febreze Fabric Refresher. I literally use this every day to make my house smell amazing. After I make the bed, after I catch my dog on the couch, so I can wear my jacket or jeans one more time before I wash them again. It even makes shoes smell fresh. It doesn't cover up odors with scent, but actually eliminates them. Over 1,000 uses. Febreze Fabric Refresher.
Age before beauty? Why not both? Visibly diminish wrinkled skin in just 2 days. New Crit Corrector Lotion, only from Gold Bond. Champion your skin.
Who says you can't get 100% whiter teeth? Try Crest Whitening Emulsions. Remove 10 years of stains in just 4 days. And it's enamel safe for everyday use. Better, faster, 100% whiter teeth. Crest, the #1 teeth whitening brand in America.
Welcome back. Just about 5:17. The FCC is cracking down on those annoying auto warranty robocalls. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the government cracking down on auto warranty robocalls. The FCC has authorized phone companies to stop delivering the calls, which are now under investigation. The agency says the auto warranty scam has resulted in 8 billion calls since 2018. You can now see the lyrics of your favorite songs on the Google Nest Hub thanks to Spotify. The feature has been available on other devices, but just debuted on Google's Home Assistant. It can be accessed by tapping the lyrics icon in the bottom right corner of the screen. And Verizon is acknowledging change is hard for some people. Verizon 3G is going away, so the company is sending free flip phones to customers who haven't given up 3G. But the 3 models to choose from are among the worst reviewed on the carrier's website. Do those flip phones even have cameras? I can't picture myself without one. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Sort of cute.
You just can't resist at this point.
He has something for everything.
Well, I know they get at work a lot earlier than we do, so maybe it's just fatigue kicking in.
Yeah.
It's possible. 5:18 right now.
Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Well, have one of your phones handy. I'm not sure if a flip phone would work for this, but we're going to talk construction in just a moment. Really want to talk about what we're seeing here, though. First, 1604 at Bandera, we have that crash we mentioned to you a little bit earlier. Not a great shot, unfortunately, but we do see flashing lights out there. We'll work to get some information as the morning does go on, but you can see that right now it's still pretty dark outside from this shot, and we want to make sure that you're alert and you watch out for those first responders working to clear this up. We're hoping everybody is okay out there. Taking you right to the map, it's located here on the southbound lanes of 1604 at Bandera Road. We're really not seeing a delay just yet because it's still pretty early in the morning, but we got to watch these areas closely because the areas tend to pick up as the morning does progress. I do want to take a quick drive over here to 410 where we saw that construction taking place. Quick suggestion here. We know that area in the eastbound lanes of 410 is closed near North Star Mall. If you're trying to get to 281, here's the suggestion. Exit Blanco Road to Oblate Drive, and then you'll hit 281 that way. You'll hit a few stoplights along the way, but as I always say, it's better than hitting those flashing lights along the highway. Wide look at the map, really not showing a whole lot else to talk about, thankfully, but we do have a lot of those active construction spots. Here's a quick reminder. Monday, July 11th, bridge work, 281. And David Sears, this is also for you. 8 in the evening should be wrapping at 8 in the morning, according to TxDOT. It's during that time you can expect a full closure of the Overlook Parkway intersection. Grab those phones. All right, open the camera apps and scan that QR code. That's going to take you directly to the KSAT traffic page. Just updated the current list of closures in your area, so that is up to date as of right now. Anything else impacting your drive time you can find on that page as well. Just remember, scroll to the bottom of the screen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah. Reminder. Is that rain behind you?
It is. Someone sent this in on KSAT Connect, and it, makes me a little jealous, but we get to watch it and enjoy it with them. This was out of Spring Branch yesterday, and the video shows some rain coming down, some pretty good heavy rain. There were some spots that picked up about 3/4 of an inch. It's a great number considering where we've been as far as rainfall goes this year. So beautiful shot. Thank you so much for sending it in. You look at the high temperatures yesterday, some huge numbers. 107 in Gonzales, 104 Kerrville, 107 in Hondo. I mean, it's pretty uniformly hot. College Station, 111 yesterday. Some all-time records being set here. San Antonio is not an all-time record. Our all-time record is 111, but boy, it felt hot. We're putting together a stretch here of consecutive 100-degree days. We've already had 10 in a row. We're projecting that we'll see 13 in a row, which would be good enough for 3rd place all-time here in San Antonio. We just keep adding up these triple-digit days. It's been really pretty impressive. Right now, 84 degrees, that's it. And I got to tell you, it doesn't bode well that we're starting off this warm because it gives us a head start to the heat. A south-southwesterly winds at about 10 miles per hour. Dew point is at 68. The higher that dew point is, the higher the heat index will be, too. 76 in Hondo. It's 71 in Kerrville, so it has cooled down some there, but most everyone else on the I-35 corridor still seeing some 80s this morning. 80 in New Braunfels, 80 in Gonzales. You zoom in here on Bexar County, same story. Low 80s to go around. I don't think we get below 80 degrees this morning. In the KSAT 12-hour forecast, 9 o'clock, we're at 88. Look at the noontime temperature. Already up to 98, mostly sunny. We go 101 by 1 p.m. And I think by 5 o'clock, we could be as high as 107. That's as long as any rain that develops, and there's a small chance, stays north of San Antonio. I think there's an outside chance, just like yesterday, of some of these cooling showers moving in. It's just going to be a matter of where and timing. But all in all, the heat, it really is the big story. Well, let's look at the forecast here. And this is around 5 o'clock. It does show some of those showers popping up and perhaps working their way into San Antonio. Just a 20% chance, though. And this all dies down by 8 o'clock. Tomorrow looks pretty similar. We do it again. Temperatures maybe not as hot tomorrow. 20% chance on your Tuesday between 3 and 8 o'clock, I'd say, of some showers and storms, some downpours working through. Very quickly, we do need to talk about the tropics. There is a little system here in Georgia. Now, it's over land. I know that's kind of weird, but this piece of energy comes out into the Gulf of Mexico, and once it gets there, there's a potential it could become somewhat tropical, and there is a 30% chance of that, according to the Hurricane Center. This will be a slow developing process, something to watch in the coming days. The latest computer models, they'll keep most of that moisture east of us. We hope that would change, but that's the way it looks right now. We'll let you know if it does indeed show any signs of development. 104 tomorrow, that's a cool down. 103 Wednesday, 99 Thursday with a chance of rain. And we're going to add in some deeper moisture on Thursday if some of that tropical moisture can work a little bit closer, which would bring temperatures down because of some cloud cover. But a lot of triple digits still there in the 7-day forecast.
I tell you, yeah, I saw, was it Austin, Camp Mabry hit 110 yesterday. Wow. Shattered the record by a full 5 degrees.
It did. All-time records. And it wasn't just us. I mean, the entire state was baking.
Broiling.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on, folks.
Yeah. I like that. Cool down tomorrow, 104.
Thank you very much, Justin. 523, 83 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, a popular singer taking a break to focus on his mental health, and Christian Bale talks about his Thor transformation.
Shawn Mendes takes a break from the stage, and more on Christian Bale's Thor transformation.
Here's CNN's Rick Damagella with the Hollywood Minute.
Shawn Mendes is putting his world tour on hold. The singer announced on Instagram that he is pushing back the next 3 weeks of his concert dates to focus on his mental health. He released a statement saying the toll of being on the road has caught up to him and that he's reached a breaking point.
So this is my vow. all gods will die.
Christian Bale is unrecognizable as the villainous Gore the God Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder. The actor explains the rigorous makeup routine required for his transformation in the box office's current #1 movie.
We started off 4 hours every morning. We got it down to 3.5 hours. And you know, it ain't just me playing Gore, it's the makeup artists as well.
Metallica gets strange. The Rockers' 1986 hit Master of Puppets is experiencing a major resurgence thanks to its prominent placement in the most recent season of the Netflix series Stranger Things. To capitalize on their current virality, the band took to TikTok to post a duet with the show's heroic characters. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Capitalizing on going viral.
Yeah. I think so.
527, 82 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA as a wildfire in Yosemite continues growing in California. An even bigger worry is that the fire is threatening the park's ancient sequoia trees.
Plus, how the Department of Transportation is trying to make summer air travel less hectic, especially for disabled passengers and those with small children.
And still ahead on GMSA at 6, a family has a lot to celebrate this summer after their lost dog was found. What the owner is saying about it, coming up.
Making headlines this morning as wildfire threatens parts of Yosemite National Park in California. Smoke can be seen from hundreds of miles away.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're starting at 82 degrees. Maybe you can keep your fingers crossed for a shower today.
And good morning to you. It is Monday. It is July 11th, and it was, as expected, a scorcher of a weekend here in South Texas.
Yes, it was, and only a few very lucky people saw rain out there.
A proposal this morning, maybe go with Celsius versus Fahrenheit just to fool our minds, number-wise.
That's a good idea, Mark.
We could. Yeah, these numbers were just crazy yesterday, and you know, we hit these numbers pretty early in the day, too. That's what's wild. We got up to around 106, and then some of those showers and storms came in and cooled us down a little bit. But had those storms not been there, we could have gone even higher yesterday, and I think we may go a degree higher today. Look at the records that were set across Texas. It was 106 in Abilene, 107 San Angelo, 106 Austin. I showed you earlier, College Station, 111. 106 here in San Antonio, 104 in Houston. So just some huge numbers, and that's not even factoring in the heat index that was there and tacked on a couple of degrees here in town. Here's what we're thinking today, 107. This is, you got to be careful type temperatures. 107 Somerset, 108 Elmendorf, 107 in Floresville. The computer model does show some showers and storms popping up, which is why it brings these temperatures down a little bit around 5 o'clock. But even Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, Canyon Lake, you'll be above 100 this afternoon before any of that shower or pop-up activity develops. Heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in effect. The excessive heat warning there in pink includes the metro areas. High temperature anywhere from 100 to, well, probably hotter than that. 105 to 108, I think. Heat index can go as high as 110 this afternoon. So it's another, again, you got to be careful type day. And we'll talk more about the prospect of a few showers and storms popping up this afternoon. We'll look at the computer models. That's coming up in just a bit. We'll go over to Stephen now and check out what's going on the roads.
For a Monday morning, we have a lot to talk about. Justin, 37 at Fair Avenue. Still looks pretty fair out there. But as we get a quick look around town, not detecting anything major from these shots at TransGuide. Not where the area of concern is. Really want to bring some information to you, but we just got into our newsroom here with a crash that was reported right there at 1604 at Bandera. You can see actually now a little bit more of a buildup, but crew on our scene was able to get some information from an officer. We know that this is a crash that involves two vehicles, and both of those vehicles actually went off the highway. One driver went to the grassy median, and the other driver actually went into the bushes off the access road. One of those drivers arrested for a DWI, so not good there, but the other driver taken to the hospital with minor injuries. So thankfully, no one was seriously hurt out there, but of course, we want to make sure that you stay prepared. We do have a tow truck that appears to be on the scene, and it does look like we are getting a few more folks out there on the roadway. Quick reminder, that is in the southbound lanes, not far from Bandera Road near the northwest side. Area to watch as the morning does progress, but I'm thinking that'll probably clear up before we reach 6 a.m. Now let's take a drive over here because we aren't seeing any better news out of 410 in the eastbound lanes, where we are seeing some road work continuing to take place. We know that started yesterday. The eastbound lanes of 410 are being impacted not far from McCullough. Quick detour to 281 exit Blanco to Oblate Drive, you'll hit 281 that way and not really encounter any major slowdowns, but just hang in there. We're going to have to watch the spot again very closely as the morning does progress. 534, no weather issues to talk about, thankfully, but active construction spots, and we'll continue to bring that information to you as the morning does progress. But quick check at the inbound times right now. Still pretty green from Seguin, 29 minutes at this hour. 33 if you're traveling on 87 and Lavernia, and a 27-minute drive if you're heading up from Floresville. But back here at TransGuide, hopefully we'll have a better update in the next few minutes, but there is a lot to talk about for Monday morning, guys.
Thank you, sir. This morning, fire inside Yosemite National Park is growing. It surpassed 2,000 acres overnight.
As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, there's a new concern about the health risk from smoke that's spreading across the state.
The race is on to protect these ancient giant sequoia trees inside Yosemite National Park. The flames of the Washburn fire first entered the grove where they live on Thursday.
They're very close and they're right around it. And so what we're doing right now is we're doing a combination of cutting fire line, looking at burning out some other areas, but around the giant sequoias.
The park says it thinks mitigation efforts will protect the trees from major damage. And part of the reason they've survived for millennia is they can handle smaller blazes.
Mariposa Grove Road, fire did slop that in the initial attack phases, about 15 acres south of the road. We do have black line containment line around that.
But the Washburn fire inside the park has been growing. And here's another threat: unhealthy air quality, even in sections of the park that remain open.
So we're asking people to just be responsible, and if someone has, for example, respiratory issues, to be very careful in hiking and choosing their activities.
Today, the smoke could worsen air quality as far west as the Bay Area. Meanwhile, the community of Wawona inside Yosemite is under evacuation orders as the fire threatens people and structures there. With so much at risk, the goal is to suppress the fire
as quickly and safely as we can.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Some tense moments at the world's busiest airport Sunday after a passenger plane's brakes caught fire. Smoke and flames could be seen coming from the gear of a Spirit Airlines flight 383 after it landed at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport. Passengers on board of that flight, which came from Tampa, started to panic a bit. Flight attendants did their best to keep everybody calm. Atlanta Fire and Rescue responded quickly and put out the fire. Airplane was towed to a gate. There were no injuries reported.
President Joe Biden's approval rating has dropped to a new low of 30%. That's according to the daily tracking service conducted by Civics. The online polling and analytics company indicated that only 29% of registered voters in the U.S. approve of the way Biden is handling his job as the U.S. president. The approval rating is below 40% among people of different ages, education backgrounds, and genders. Only 21% of the people aged 18 to 34 approve of the way Biden handles his job. Biden's approval rating has been below 50% since last August and has repeatedly hit new lows since the beginning of the year.
Japan's prime minister has met with U.S.'s top diplomat who delivered condolences over the death of former leader Shinzo Abe. Japan's prime minister boosted by a mandate in weekend elections that were imbued with meaning after Abe was assassinated while campaigning last week. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken gave the prime minister a letter from President Biden to Abe's family. Blinken is the most senior U.S. official to visit Japan after Abe's death and says that Japan and the U.S. are friends as well as allies. Well, back here at home, Greater SATX is a private-public nonprofit with a mission to grow in and grow quality jobs in and around our community.
During Leading SA this weekend, we talked about the future of San Antonio, including new job opportunities, education, and what it means for local families.
It was a great discussion about how San Antonio is so resilient, how one of our biggest strengths is our diversity, and how we have a bright future.
The biggest thing that we've seen in recent years with regards to academia and education is alignment. You know, we are creating jobs in our local community and we are growing by way of people. What we've been focused on with our universities specifically is those transferable skill sets, right? We've got the demand jobs. How do we get San Antonians into those jobs? And we've seen those numbers increase. In fact, again, during the pandemic, San Antonio grew 2- and 4-year degrees by 3% when the rest of the country stayed flat, when communities like Austin and Nashville stayed flat. that's something to be proud of and something that we need to continue to invest in.
One of the topics we discussed extensively is the San Antonio International Airport and the Regional Air Service Development Fund. It's meant to attract new nonstop flights right here to the Alamo City. We talked about what that means for the future of our economy. We talked about a lot, and you can check out the full conversation right now. Just head to the Leading Essay section of KSAT.com. We have Leading Essay every Sunday at 8 a.m. So guys, we'll see you next Sunday. Back to you.
Thank you, Max. 539, 82 degrees.
If you're headed to the post office this morning, we're going to tell you how much more you'll now have to pay for postage.
Up next, how a local veteran is breaking the stigma behind post-traumatic stress disorder and helping by providing a path to recovery.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are starting in the 80s and we'll be hitting those triple digits once again, but maybe one day of somewhat relief. We'll check in with Justin later on.
542 coming off National PTSD Awareness Month. A San Antonio Marine Corps veteran is sharing his story with others in need. As
Courtney Friedman reports, he said now with troops returning from the war in Afghanistan, adjusting to civilian life here is even harder.
San Antonio war veteran Jonathan Shane Krebs spent 4 years as an Army paratrooper and 7.5 in the Marine Corps, stationed in both Iraq and Afghanistan.
I went through 4 IEDs, 2 suicide bombers, and a partially open parachute. So I ended up diagnosed with 6 traumatic brain injuries.
He was eventually medically retired and diagnosed with severe PTSD.
Back in the day, if you had severe PTSD or something like that and you came forward with issues, a lot of guys I knew got booted out of the Army. And since then, a lot of those guys have committed suicide. So that was a stigma for us.
With a push from his wife, he finally reached out for help and is well into his recovery, working now as a trainer with Canines for Warriors. He says over a decade ago, he saw a big shift in the military's focus on PTSD and mental health, but the stigma still exists.
Part of that is the individual that still believes mentally, I don't need the help, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me. And part of that is like the VA system. Like when I got out in 2012, and I went for my PTSD treatment with the VA, it was a 6-month wait just to get in to see a doctor.
That's where organizations like Mission Roll Call come in. They assist veterans in crisis, but also advocate on Capitol Hill for issues like suicide and access to care. Executive Director Cole Lyle says he almost became a suicide statistic, saying in a statement, "Had a fellow Marine not intervened, I wouldn't be here." We speak directly to our membership through regular interviews, polls, and town halls across the United States. Combined with empirical data, we use these stories to produce striking, detailed images of issues affecting our community. Mission Roll Call recently polled its 1.4 million veteran members and found that 72% believe the recent Taliban advance through Afghanistan was a reason for personal reflection and sadness.
I spent a lot more time sitting around drinking beer and just being angry. But you got to find a positive outlet like talking with the doctors, talking with my wife, talking with fellow veterans, just venting and getting that off your chest is really what helps you to get through the situation.
That was Courtney Friedman reporting, and veterans who are ready for help, he says to start at the VA.
He says to head to the local VFW, get a service dog, or contact Mission Roll Call. Their information on our website at ksat.com.
545, 82 degrees.
And coming up next, how the Department of Transportation is trying to make it easier for people to travel by air this summer. And welcome back. It is 5:48. In your morning consumer headlines, the U.S. Postal Service has officially raised the price of mailing a first-class letter once again. A forever stamp will cost 60 cents when the post office opens today. In addition to the 2-cent price increase on first-class stamps, other postal services will also cost more. Now, that's everything from postcards to certified mail to money order fees will also be subjected to rate hikes. The Postal Service says the rate hike amounts about 6.5% increase across the board. They pointed out the added expense is still less than the rate of inflation, which is nearly 8%.
The U.S. Department of Transportation has announced a new Bill of Rights for air travelers. With the busy summer travel season underway, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is highlighting 2 new initiatives. The first guarantees 10 specific rights for disabled travelers, which includes their ability to travel with a service animal. DOT's second initiative for summer travel is designed to help families who are trying to travel together this summer. Although it's not an enforceable law, the DOT's new policy urges airlines to seat travelers 13 and younger with their guardians.
And time now, 5:49. Time to check back with Stephen Cavazos. There's a lot of construction there. Loop 410 in McCullough still.
Yeah, and we really can't see a clear shot of the work that's being done. All we see are those flashing lights and a lot of those folks out there coming to a stop or exiting the frontage road. Not a good place to be right now. TxDOT reported this started yesterday, but no details on exactly what's being done. We know that there was some paving work taking place last week, so this could be a continuation of that. But right now, we're just continuing to see a slowdown in that area, and I don't like that. And I'm sure a lot of those drivers don't like that as well. But a quick suggestion, we're going to look at a different route in the next few minutes. But if you're trying to get to 281, exit Blanco Road if you can. It's still pretty early enough to do that. To Oblate Drive, you'll hit 281 that way without any trouble. I've outlined that direction for you in the blue, but quick look of the entire metro area. Thankfully, there's not much else to talk about. We did have a crash over on the northwest side of Loop 1604 near Bandera Road. That has cleared out, and we are seeing some better news out there. But be prepared, because we are going to see some guardrail repairs taking place for our friends in Guadalupe County over there off State Highway 123. Now, this started today, or will start today around 7 a.m. lasts up until Thursday, July 14th. That should wrap at 5 in the afternoon. During that time, single lane closures in both directions from State Highway 46 to FM 477. So no need to rush over there, though. We want to make sure that you plan ahead, and of course, make sure you look for those alternative routes as well. If you got one, might as well use it. 410 in McCullough, just not a great place to be for a Monday morning or any morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Stephen. CPS Energy and ERCOT have asked us to conserve yet again today, especially during those peak times, and Justin's here to explain why.
Yeah, you know, ERCOT put out a graph on their website. So if we're looking at this correctly, this line down here is the demand. So this is what we're expecting. This is how much electricity will be used. This purple line, and I know it's hard to see, would be the supply. And at a few points this afternoon, it's going to be a very close call, which is why they're asking people to voluntarily reduce their energy use. We'll see how this plays out. ERCOT says there is enough energy for the entire state this afternoon, but with temperatures the way they are, obviously demand is going to be very, very high. And they're, again, asking everyone to kind of play a role here in and potentially controlling that, or hopefully supply does not get above demand. Hottest temperatures all the time. I got this question yesterday. What is the hottest temperature San Antonio's ever seen? That is 111. That was back in 2000. And you see the list here, 110, 2011. We got up to 109 in 2000, 108 in 2013 and 1986. 4 years, we got up to 107. And that was back in 2020, the last time that happened. And then yesterday we got up to 106. So we kind of made the top 10 list here. We'll see if we go a degree warmer today. That would also put us on the list. Obviously, we would add to those 4 years in which we saw 107. Temperatures are going to be awful hot today. And yesterday, the good news is we got some relief from some showers and storms that popped up. This is the observed rainfall yesterday. Half an inch in Kerrville. Vanderpool almost picked up an inch. That was the big winner yesterday out there in Bandera County. But no rainfall at the airport. And places like Spring Branch, 281 and 1604, they picked up quite a bit of rain. It was a very isolated area, though. Shirts about 0.17 of an inch. But with the airport picking up 0, we continue our stretch here of no rainfall officially in San Antonio. Well, live cam, 84 degrees outside, 82 Stinson, 80 Kelly, 82 Randolph. Boy, we're off to a warm start, and the heat index is already 87 here in town. Feels like 86 at Stinson. And the heat index forecast today, well, with temperatures forecast to be around 106, 107, the heat index could go as high as 110 here in San Antonio. That's even a little bit higher than yesterday, so we've got to be really careful today. And the forecast does call for some of those pop-up downpours. 20% chance this afternoon, I'd say between 3 and 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, same story. We'll see a few pop-ups, 20% chance between 3 and 8. Some of these could produce some gusty winds, but I don't expect a lot of severe weather, and these will be brief. High pressure still very much in control, and the reason for all this incredible heat. It does try to shift a little bit further west. as we get into the middle part of the week, which would reduce our temperatures just a little bit. We're also watching what's going on in the Gulf of Mexico. A little area of low pressure tries to develop, but at this point, it looks like it'll stay east of us. So the extended forecast, 20% chance today. We'll go 10% tomorrow and Wednesday, 20% Thursday, and then a 10% Friday. All of these chances are really pretty low, guys. Nothing that jumps off the page, but we do see temperatures, quote unquote, cool down some by Thursday and Friday of this week.
Okay, Justin, thank you. 5:54 at 82 degrees.
Go ahead and look at your winning lotto numbers. We have pick 3, 276, Fireball 3, Daily 4, 5733, Fireball 3.
Cash 5 numbers 3, 9, 12, 13, 30. Lotto Texas 14, 19, 20, 42, 43, 54. And Powerball 14, 22, 42, 46, 52. Powerball 24, Power Play 3. Still ahead in the next hour of Good Morning San Antonio, a couple in Houston is getting sued by their HOA for feeding ducks. Why it could cost them their house. And later, breakfast, cleaning, work, lunch, dinner, soccer practice, swim team. So much to do, so little time. Are the shortcuts you're taking at mealtime making your kids gain weight? And if you're flying this summer, your luggage might not make it with you. We'll tell you why. The chances of that have improved, unfortunately. That's coming up. TransGuide right now, this is one of our trouble spots right now. This is eastbound 410 at McCullough. Stephen Cavazos will be back with an update coming up. Right now on GMSA, the community of Uvalde is outraged, demanding release of the video of the police response to the massacre at Robb Elementary School.
Steve Bannon now preparing to testify before the January 6th committee. I'm Jay O'Brien in Washington. We have Why coming up.
And taking a look outside with the live cam, we're starting warm already. We're in the 80s and we're expected to get to the triple digits once again.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is July 11th. I knew we were in trouble yesterday. I saw a buddy post the thermometer from his truck. Before noon, It was already 100 degrees in some spots.
Oh, yeah. It was a very hot day, and only a few people saw what resembled rain for a few minutes, but overall, it was just a hot day.
Yeah, we did have some showers and storms late in the day, but the overall trend does continue. As a matter of fact, it could be just as hot today, Justin.
Maybe even a degree or two hotter. And it's pretty wild to think we got up to 106, and that was with some rain around. Can you imagine if we didn't have those showers, how hot it could have been yesterday? I think we're going to see a pretty similar setup today. So there's a chance for a few more isolated pop-up showers and storms. 32 days so far this year at 100 or above. This number continues to grow. We've put together a string now of 10 days in a row of 100 or above. We are very quickly moving towards those records. 59 total days in 2009. We're on pace to break that record unless something changes down the line. And there's not a lot of indications that that is the case. 75 in Bernie, 83 at the airport, feels like 86, 82 is the feels like number in New Braunfels. We are struggling to get below 80 this morning, which means we're getting a head start to those high temperatures today. In your pollen count, molds are moderate. They're at 610. Grass is low. Molds may stay a little bit elevated today just because we do have some of that rain in the forecast, at least a small chance. KSAT 12-hour forecast, 88 degrees at 9 o'clock. By noontime, look at that, already up near 198. 101 at 1 o'clock, 103 at 2 p.m. Then we start to add in the rain chances. 20% chance this evening, 107. The potential high could feel as warm as 110 with a heat index. Heat advisories, excessive heat warnings in effect today. Keep that in mind. We've got some slightly cooler temperatures on the way. We'll show you the 7-day forecast in just a bit, but we got to get over to Steven now. Any updates on that construction that's causing issues?
Not a good one, Justin. Unfortunately, things have stayed the same. 410 at McCullough. Let's get a wider look at TransGuide and show you that that area of the highway, the eastbound lanes, is what's closed right now, but it does look like traffic may just be getting back on, so we could be seeing the end of this, but unfortunately, still seeing somewhat of a slowdown there. We know that this work started yesterday and has continued into into the early hours of this morning. So again, the eastbound lanes is where we're seeing that impact right now. But as we just saw on TransGuide, it does look like that highway may just be reopening right now. So that's some better news actually in the last few moments. But a quick detour there. If you want to actually avoid all of that still, you can, if maybe you're trying to get into the northbound lanes of 281, exit West Avenue, then continue on and take a right at Bitters Road. You'll hit 281 maybe if you're trying to go north or maybe a little bit further up in that area. So better news there, but I don't think you're really going to need that alternative route because it does appear the roads have reopened. But wide look at the map shows there's really not a lot else to talk about. We do see a little bit of a slowdown there. Right there, if you can make it out in the corner of the screen there, outside of New Braunfels, the southbound lanes of 35. I'll find out what's going on there and see how that's going to impact anybody's drive time. But right now, doesn't really look like anything's impacting these travel times if you're coming in from any of these communities. Pretty much green across the board, but we are seeing about a 30-minute drive time on Highway 90 if you're coming in from Castroville. So keep that in mind, but it's the usual time that we see every morning. Back here on TransGuide, hopefully we'll see these flashing lights disappear in the next few moments, but we'll watch it closely. Make sure you keep your eyes on the road as well. Guys?
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, an update to a story we first brought you here on GMSA. We've learned the name of a man killed in a wrong-way crash on the city's west side. He's been identified, the Bexar County Medical Examiner, as 39-year-old Victor Pena. The crash happened yesterday around 2 a.m. on 151 near Callahan. Police say two vehicles were smashed into each other when they arrived on scene. Pena died there at the scene. The other driver involved in the crash was taken to the hospital and is doing okay.
And we turn now to Uvalde, where there are new calls to release video of the police response to the massacre at Robb Elementary School.
Amid accusations of a potential cover-up among law enforcement, the community is demanding transparency as the investigation takes a new step forward today.
ABC's Mona Abdi has more.
Hundreds gathered in sweltering heat in Uvalde, Texas Sunday to honor those who lost their lives in the school massacre on May 24th.
What I want, no one can give me. I want my daughter back.
Many are pushing for new gun safety measures.
We're asking to change the gun laws. More background checks, mental checks. Please change our laws so no more babies could be taken from us.
And many more are voicing outrage.
We want answers. We seek justice and we demand change.
For more than a month, families have demanded to know why it took police more than 1 hour to take down the shooter at Robb Elementary School, where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. But little has been officially revealed about the police response that day.
From the mayor down, nobody's telling the people nothing.
Today, the Uvalde County Sheriff is expected to testify before a state investigative committee amid new calls to release a 77-minute video from the school's hallway surveillance cameras. So far, only still images have been seen. The mayor says he supports releasing the full video to help families understand what happened. He's disputing a report released last week that claims an officer missed an opportunity to shoot the gunman before he entered the school because he was waiting for permission from his supervisor. The mayor says that report, quote, doesn't give a complete and accurate account of what happened. The mayor insists no officer saw the shooter before he entered the building. As for that video from the school hallway, it is up to the district attorney whether to release it. Mona Abdi, ABC News, New York.
And happening today, the First Lady is coming to the Alamo City. Dr. Jill Biden will be a speaker at the Latinx Inclusion Luncheon. It's part of the Unidos U.S. Annual Conference, and the yearly event aims to bring people together to discuss issues on housing, health, racial equity, and education. Today is the first time the conference will be held in person since COVID.
Meanwhile, the South Texas blood supply is critically low. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is hosting a blood drive today at Santico's Entertainment just off 410 near the West Lakes Village Shopping Center on the west side. It starts at 10, goes to 3 p.m. Donors need to be at least 17 years old.
And are you looking for work? Well, Comal ISD is holding a summer job fair later today. The district is looking to fill a number of positions in teaching, technology, transportation, custodial, and substitutes. It is happening today from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in New Braunfels at the District Support Services Building. That address is 1404 I-35 North. Now, if you're interested, but you can't make it today, the district will hold another job fair on August 4th. Topping your morning headlines, Japan will bid a final farewell to former leader Shinzo Abe later this week. Now, a private wake is being held today in Tokyo, followed by a funeral service on Tuesday. A larger service is expected at a later date in Abe's hometown. The former prime minister was gunned down Friday during an outdoor campaign event. The 41-year-old man accused of killing him says he was angry over an unnamed group he thought Abe was connected to.
U.S. Department of Transportation has announced a new Bill of Rights for air travelers. The agency is guaranteeing 10 specific rights for disabled travelers, including their ability to travel with a service animal. This new Bill of Rights summarizes existing laws with the goal of helping disabled passengers better understand them.
The fire inside Yosemite National Park has been growing. It passed 2,000 acres overnight, and it's now crossed into the grove where the park's ancient sequoias are located. The giant trees are among the largest and oldest trees in the world. Some are believed to be 2,000 years old. So the race is on to protect these giant trees. The park says it believes current efforts will protect the trees from major damage. We are going to have more coverage on this story, so stay tuned for that in our next half hour of GMSA.
Back here at home, ERCOT urging Texans to conserve energy today since we're expected to see triple-digit temps again. ERCOT asking people and businesses to voluntarily conserve between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., but says no system-wide outages are expected. Some ways to conserve energy, including turning your thermostat up a degree or two if comfortable, or unplugging appliances you are not using.
And if you've had a rough summer, 4 area pet shelters say it might be time to adopt a furry friend. Starting today, they are emptying the shelters, and that means you can adopt a pet for $50 or less. So that covers a spay or neuter, the first round of vaccinations, and a microchip. So the list of shelters where you can adopt is on our website at KSAT.com.
Trending now on our website, a San Antonio family had a lot to celebrate on the 4th of July after their dog disappeared almost a year ago was found safe. The dog named Rome vanished in September, but San Antonio Animal Care Services officers found him and discovered who his family was after scanning his microchip. Rome's owner says she was overwhelmed with relief and excitement when he was found. Welcome home.
I know. I'm glad they were reunited. Time now, 6:10 and 82 degrees for now.
Still to come on GMSA, a man facing robbery charges in San Marcos after trying to shoot up an Academy store with a pellet gun. The bizarre details coming up before 6:30.
And after the break, highly anticipated testimony is expected this week from former President Trump's White House counsel. Why Steve Bannon is now willing to testify on the January 6th riot at the Capitol.
And outside with live cam, the sun is trying to come up. Beautiful start to the day. It's just really warm already. We've only dropped down to 82 degrees in the overnight hours.
In Washington this morning, Steve Bannon, the controversial one-time top advisor to former President Donald Trump, now says he will cooperate with a congressional committee investigating the deadly January 6th insurrection.
That is after Bannon refused to speak to the committee for months and faced possible jail time for ignoring a subpoena. ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest.
This morning, Steve Bannon reversing course, telling the January 6th committee he's willing to testify. Bannon and the committee initially locked in a legal battle for months. The conservative firebrand and former Trump White House strategist facing criminal contempt charges after refusing to comply with a congressional subpoena. He and former President Donald Trump claiming executive privilege, even though Bannon left his White House job in 2017. But in this new letter obtained by ABC News, Trump now clearing Bannon to appear before the committee, saying, quote, "I watched how unfairly you and others have been treated."
I expect that we will be hearing from him, and there are many questions that we have for him.
The committee maintaining there's evidence Bannon knew about the Capitol attack in advance, a day before the riot, saying this on his podcast.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
Bannon's decision to testify coming days after the committee heard from former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone. Once the top White House lawyer, Cipollone repeatedly mentioned by Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to Trump's chief of staff.
Mr. Cipollone said something to the effect of, "Please make sure we don't go up to the Capitol."
In a recorded interview, Cipollone facing questions Friday for 8 hours.
You'll see over the next couple hearings a little of what he said, but at no point was there any contradiction of what anybody said.
In a letter to the January 6th committee, Bannon's attorney says his client wants to testify live and in public. But one committee member says that might not be the case because of the number of questions committee investigators have for Bannon. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Okay, so those hearings resume tomorrow, and we will be following them very closely. They are set to begin live at 9 a.m.
You can watch it live here on KSAT 12 and on our website, ksat.com.
6:16 on your Monday morning.
Go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos about the construction spots that we saw earlier.
Better news. 410 at McCullough. We did have those flashing lights out there and saw plenty of issues for drivers, but thankfully at this hour doesn't really look like we're seeing any issues. A few flashing lights remain. We know that some work was being done there along Loop 410 in the eastbound lanes, which led to a closure causing some slowdowns. And right now we're not seeing any of that. Actually, a great shot from TransGuide as people are getting their Monday morning started. So fantastic news out there, but as we are seeing progress in one spot, another is showing some issues here. A slowdown along I-35 southbound near Solms Road. I've been in contact with our friend at TransGuide, and we're trying to get a view of the area to find out exactly what's going on. Some of the cameras out there don't necessarily work, but we're able to see some still images, and so we do see a lot of vehicles out there in that direction. Right now, traffic moving at around 6 miles per hour, so prepare for that. This is just south of New Braunfels. It's a little smidge south, I should say. But now getting a wide look at the map. Again, thankfully, the Monday morning, some of those issues we spotted earlier have cleared out, and it does look like construction may be the main talking point. So make sure that you plan ahead because we do have some work taking place here off US 90, guardrail repairs that actually will start today around 9 in the morning and wrap on Friday, July 15th. This should end around 5 in the afternoon. So this is during a very busy time. We know US 90 is one of those major gateways to the Alamo City, so keep this in mind as you continue to plan your commute throughout the morning. Alternating main lane closures and ramp closures in both directions at Montgomery Road. So grab those phones, open your camera app, scan that QR code. That's going to take you to the KSAT traffic page. Just updated the list of the current closures taking place throughout the month of July. So that's pretty helpful for anybody that has travel plans, maybe within the next few minutes or so.
Thank you, Stephen. It was hot everywhere in Texas yesterday. Hottest temperatures weren't necessary along the border, maybe deep in the heart of Texas, Justin.
Yeah, College Station reported 111, their hottest temperature ever in the month of July, and I think we could tie our hottest temperature ever in July today. The way temperatures are looking now, I will remind you too, your car temperature, the temperature you see on maybe your car dashboard, it's always going to register a little bit warmer because it's taking into account asphalt and that sort of thing, surrounding temperatures. The temperature at the airport is in the shade in a box, and it's in the middle of a field. So the temperature is always, maybe a little bit lower because it's how it's measured. 106 at the airport, though, yesterday. 107 Pleasanton, 104 Kerrville, 100 Rock Springs. It was 107 in Del Rio. I mentioned that 111 up there around College Station. Just some huge temperatures, records all the way around here. And we've put together now 10 consecutive days of 100 degrees or above. We are projecting that we'll go 13 days in a row at 100 or above. And so that would put us in third place all time for most consecutive 100-degree days. Could it go longer than that? It's possible. We'll show you the 7-day forecast here in just a second. But first, let's go outside. We've got mostly clear skies, 83 degrees at the airport. We've got a head start on temperatures today. This is well above average. And the record high-low temperature for the day to 78. So we're going to shatter that, it looks like, if temperatures don't fall anymore. And it doesn't look like they'll fall much. 79 in New Braunfels, 80 Gonzales, 70 right now in Kerrville, at 77 at Hondo. And 83 Canyon Lake, 79 again New Braunfels, 80 Pleasanton, 78 Port SA. It's a warm morning. KSAT 12-hour forecast around 91 by 10 o'clock. We should be closing in on 100 by noontime, mostly sunny, and then by the afternoon 107. 20% chance of rain. We'll add that in from about 3 through 8 p.m. So much like yesterday, we'll see some of those clouds bubble up, and then we'll get some of those cooling showers, hopefully by the afternoon. Here's the forecast. 5 o'clock, 20% chance of rain. You see some of those pop-up showers and storms. Most of that dissipates by 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, again, we'll see some showers and storms popping up by the afternoon. Another 20% chance on your Tuesday. This all dies down by the evening hours. High pressure very much in control. It's the reason we've seen all of this really hot stuff. It does shift west a little bit as we get later into the week, which may cool our temperatures some. Not much, but some. We're also watching what's going on in the Gulf, or at least we will watch what happens in the Gulf. It's not there yet. Hurricane Center is watching a little disturbance, which right now is over land, but as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, could become tropical. 30% chance of development over the next 5 days. We have plenty of time to watch it. And at this point, looks like most of that moisture stays east of us. 104 tomorrow, 20% chance of rain. 103 Wednesday, just a small chance there. Another 20% chance on Thursday. And I think we get enough cloud cover on Thursday, which would allow temperatures to stay just below that 100-degree mark. We'll see. Other than that, we return to the triple digits Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, guys.
If we dip below 100 at this point, we're going to have a parade.
Maybe a parade on Thursday.
Maybe a parade Thursday. Thank you, Justin.
Every day this month, guys.
Oh boy, 621, 81 degrees.
And just ahead on GMSA, a couple in Houston is getting hit with a massive lawsuit for feeding ducks. You're not going to want to miss that. It's coming up next.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill once a day that's effective without topical steroids. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. Plus, they felt fast itch relief, some as early as 1 week. That's Rinvoq Relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your eczema specialist about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Welcome back to GMSA. A man is facing aggravated robbery charges up in San Marcos after police say he tried to shoot up an Academy store with air guns that fired pellets. It all happened Sunday evening after the suspect allegedly stole 3 CO2 pistols, left the store, and attempted to load the guns in the parking lot. A witness called police, and store employees started evacuating people through the back of the store. By the time officers arrived, the suspect had re-entered the store but was stopped by an off-duty officer. No injuries were reported.
A longtime employee of the Texas Rangers is being remembered this morning after collapsing in the parking lot of Globe Life Field before Sunday's game. He died at the hospital. 56-year-old Ted Nichols-Payne was a Texas Rangers radio network engineer for nearly 30 years, and he was a technical director on Rangers radio broadcasts from 1995 to 2010 before returning to the role in 2015.
Okay, so a couple in Houston is getting sued by their homeowners association for feeding the ducks, and now they could lose their home. Neighbors filed the complaints. The ducks were damaging property and destroying gardens. The lawsuit seeks up to $250,000 in damages, according to the Houston Chronicle. If the couple loses and they can't pay the fees, the HOA will look to foreclose on their home.
Ouch.
Lots of drama.
Yes, 626 and 81 degrees for now.
Still ahead at 6:30, gas prices finally dropping, but could we actually see some relief?
Plus, some of the most famous trees in the world are under the dark cloud of a raging wildfire. What Yosemite National Park is doing to save the sequoias. This morning on GMSA, the raging wildfire at Yosemite National Park has almost doubled in size. How fire crews are handling it next.
A year later, and a Northeast Side murder has not been solved. Police now asking for your help, and you could receive an award. We'll have details for you.
And taking a look outside with a live cam. It's looking nice out there, but it is 81 degrees, and we're looking forward to another hot day.
And good morning to you. It is Monday. It is July 11th, and it felt like about 146 degrees outside yesterday.
Yes, it did. Only a few people got rain, but when that rain came down, it was like for 5 minutes maybe.
And in reality, subtract 40 degrees from my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I saw a cloud come right over my house, and it was dark on the bottom. I thought, okay, I'm going to get a little bit of rain out of this, like 6 drops. And then I was like, oh, come on.
I always wonder what your neighbors are thinking when they see you out in your yard looking up.
You waited?
I am that guy.
Yeah.
I am with the phone. You know,
just ready.
The stupid part about it is I went out barefoot and I walked on the sidewalk and then ran right back
in to get your shoes. Yeah.
Anyway, the heat was really incredible yesterday. 106 here in San Antonio. That was a record. The old record was 103. And then 107 in Del Rio. The old record, well, they didn't quite get the record there. It was 108. I'll take that off. 106 in Abilene, 107 in San Angelo. But there was a lot of records set yesterday. Even Houston, their 104 felt more like 112 because they had some higher humidity there. Our forecast today calls for 107, which would be obviously another record. The computer models actually want to produce a little bit of rain, some pop-up showers and storms this afternoon, which is why it brings temperatures down around 5 o'clock in some of these areas. But you can bet that everybody will be above 100 degrees again today. There are heat advisories, excessive heat warnings in effect. This area in pink here represents that excessive heat warning. And that means high temperatures can be anywhere from 105 to 110. And that heat index in some isolated spots can be as high as 112. So this is more dangerous heat. We do have to be careful today. We mentioned earlier that ERCOT is asking Texans to voluntarily conserve energy this afternoon because it's going to be the usage is going to be very high with temperatures like this. We'll talk more about that and talk about a cool down headed our way in the 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. But we got to get over to Steven now. How's that morning commute shaping up?
Not really bad, Justin, but I do want to point out that although these shots at TransGuide aren't showing any issues, we are starting to see those issues pick up on our map. And according to TxDOT, there are 35 north at Loop 410. It does look like traffic is off. People are moving, but be on the lookout. We do have another crash to talk about here along 35 in the northbound lanes near Cesar Chavez Boulevard. I'm working with a get a shot with our friends at TransGuide. We are seeing a slowdown on our map as well, especially with more people heading back to the work week. Make sure that you plan ahead because this is not a good area to have a crash. And another spot that we're watching closely, actually over here just outside of New Braunfels, you can see a huge slowdown there right now taking place near Solms Road. No information to report just yet, but right now traffic in that direction moving at just 6 miles per hour. So not a good place to be this morning, but we will work to get some information and give you those alternative routes as the morning does roll on and if these issues do persist. Giving you a wide look at the map, though, it looks like another crash may have popped up along 281. We'll find out how that's going to impact your drive time, but back here on TransGuide, things seem to be moving a lot better there at US 90 at Couples. Again, we'll have more updates coming up in the next few minutes. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Stephen. San Antonio Police and Crime Stoppers are asking for your help this morning to solve a pair of cases. Now, the first one, an argument at a Southside McDonald's drive-through line got out of control and ended with one group firing shots at another customer. This happened back on May 7th at McDonald's on Roosevelt Avenue near Southeast Military Drive. Now, police say a man and another group of people were arguing in the drive-through line. When the man left the restaurant in his vehicle and pulled onto the road, the suspects started shooting towards him. The man was not hit. Those suspects are still on the run.
The second case involves a murder that happened just a little over a year ago on the city's northeast side. This all unfolding on July 1st of last year at the Alamo Estates Apartments on Mid-Crown near Walsham, just outside Loop 410. That's where officers found the body of Raymond Sneed with a gunshot wound. No arrests have been made, but police say one witness recalled a woman leaving the apartments around the time of the shooting.
And if you have any information that can lead to the arrest in either of the cases, you're asked to call the number on your screen.
Yeah, they're asked to call Crime Stoppers 210-224-STOP. You could receive a reward of up to $5,000. Moving on to other news this morning. We have a follow-up this morning on this weekend's threat against the San Antonio Jewish community. Temple Bethel Rabbi Mara Nathan is in Jerusalem right now and sent a statement to her congregation yesterday. It reads in part, quote, "We may have been separated by thousands of miles and a significant time zone difference, but I felt deeply connected to you all, despite the threat we experienced yesterday and all the other attacks against Jews and Jewish communities throughout our history. It's our sacred sense of connection and community that continues to be a source of our redemption," end quote. You can read the full statement. Head to KSAT.com.
Uvalde County Sheriff Ruben Nolasco is expected to testify today before the Texas panel investigating the massacre at Robb Elementary. He will participate through video teleconference. He originally refused to do so and then changed his mind after being issued an official notice. The Texas House Investigative Committee's preliminary report into the Uvalde school massacre could be released in the next 10 days. And security video from inside Robb Elementary in Uvalde could be released today. It's over an hour of footage showing what happened before the officers entered the classroom that day. The video is from inside the hallway of the school and will not have audio. Texas DPS officials released a letter supporting the release of the video, saying it won't harm their investigation. Uvalde's mayor also put out a statement supporting the release of the video, saying it will likely bring clarity to the public and families of the victims.
This weekend, hundreds of people from around the state marched alongside the families of the victims of the Uvalde school shooting to speak for the 21 unheard voices. Yesterday, in the extreme heat, people marched a mile from Robb Elementary to Main Plaza. Some family members who spoke criticized lawmakers and the Uvalde CISD school board for not providing a safer campus.
Job to make sure children are safe and secure while attending school. It's your job to make sure parents can trust that their children will have a safe learning environment. It's sad that there are children and teachers that are afraid to come back to school. I know I am.
Others have also criticized the law enforcement response, where officers waited 77 minutes before entering the classroom, where students and teachers were killed. Well, now to the race to save the most famous trees in America. Wildfire burning out of control at Yosemite National Park, threatening a grove of iconic sequoia trees.
Some of them are thousands of years old. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
This morning, fire crews in Yosemite National Park are racing to protect some of the oldest and biggest trees in the world.
They're not something to see, they're something to experience, and they just take everyone's breath away.
The Washburn fire has scorched more than 2,000 acres since igniting last week. Intense flames and heat sending debris hundreds of feet into the air, nearly hitting a firefighting plane.
A branch went right over the top of us, pretty good size. So if we keep seeing that, we might have to knock it off. I don't want to take a chance of busting a window in an airplane or hurting an aircraft.
Firefighters are hoping to keep the flames away from Mariposa Grove, the largest area of ancient sequoias in Yosemite.
It just goes same one that you would use your lawn.
A sprinkler system is now protecting the grizzly giant, the park's second largest tree, which is 209 feet tall and is 3,000 years old.
We're watering that tree in case the fire comes to it, and when the fire does come, fire behavior is just going to drop down and the tree's going to be okay.
Smoke from the fire is expected to cause major problems for the surrounding area. 700 people staying at a nearby campground were told to evacuate, but some are choosing to wait it out.
Plan on staying here at the park for a few days, but I guess we'll see.
Meanwhile, a wildfire in northern Utah nearly doubled in size yesterday, burning nearly 4,000 acres. Back in Yosemite, nearly 550 firefighters are on the front lines, battling the fire from land and from the air. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
638, 81 degrees.
And after the break, when you're running around this summer, it can feel like there's so much to do with so little time. And are the shortcuts you're taking at mealtime causing childhood obesity? Well, that answer is ahead on GMSA at 6:30.
Welcome back to GMSA. 642. In the U.S., 1 in 5 children between the ages of 6 and 19 are considered obese.
Many adults in the U.S. are also obese, and when mom and dad are overweight, their kids are 80% more likely to have a weight problem as well. And it turns out those easy, quick, and cheap options are fueling the obesity epidemic in kids. Business Insider ranked fast food for kids. Chick-fil-A's grilled nuggets kids meal weighed in as the worst with 570 calories, and Subway's ham and cheese kids meal tops the list with more than half the calories and sodium. And even if you're not eating out, you still need to watch what you're making at home.
A big concern would be the amount of salt or sodium in some of the processed foods that kids really like chips or canned foods or packaged foods.
The CDC recommends 1,500 milligrams of sodium for small children and up to 2,300 for older kids. According to the CDC, #1 source of sodium is bread. In fact, one sandwich on wheat bread contains almost 350 milligrams of sodium. Better choice, a lettuce wrap. Also, the average slice of pizza can have up to 600 milligrams of sodium. Other foods high in sodium: pasta sauces, soups, cheeses, and deli meats.
Another mistake parents make is relying on formula. Studies have shown that breastfed babies face a lower risk for childhood obesity.
And due to obesity, more kids than ever before are facing very adult diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and even sleep apnea.
And time now, 6:43. Time to check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Remember that crash we mentioned earlier? Our friends at TransGuide were able to give us a view of the issues that we're seeing along 35 at Cesar Chavez. Let's now get a wider look, and it is not a pretty sight to show you guys at this point, because we are seeing that right now the issues seem to be off in the shoulder lane. However, looks like a mess trying to navigate this crash. No information to report at this time, but you can see not a good place to be this morning. That has been the trend. A few of these crashes popping up on their TransGuide cameras and our map, clearing out in a few minutes. But right now, with it being morning rush, we can expect to see a whole lot more messy incidents like this out there. So remember to drive safe. Keep in mind, right now we are seeing the impacts in the northbound lanes of 35 near Cesar Chavez. Lots of red showing near a lot of construction in that area. So stay focused on the road. Watch for those first responders as well. They're working to make the roads a safer place. Quick drive up to 281. We still have this issue that was reported earlier. We showed you the view of the map a few minutes ago. But 281 northbound at Jones-Maltzberger Road, we do have another crash that is causing minor slowdowns. You can see a little bit of yellow building there in the northbound lanes right behind that crash icon. So again, the morning has been a little problematic, but as we give you a wider look, there's a little bit more relief when we give you that image, because the wider picture just shows a lot of those active construction spots, and we're going to continue to give you those updates throughout the morning, but it doesn't look like there's anything else really to talk about. So that's some good news, but not looking good here at 35 at Cesar Chavez, an area we're going to have our eyes on. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, it's a mess out there, and it's going to be a mess outside, I guess, as far as the heat again.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in that danger territory for a couple days now. We're right back there again today, and I think temperatures actually could be a degree hotter than yesterday. And there lies the concern for energy demand. ERCOT is asking folks to voluntarily reduce their energy use this afternoon. So this blue line here represents forecast demand. This purple line is the amount of energy. There is a period this afternoon where it gets close. It'll be a close call, and I think that's why ERCOT is asking folks to conserve energy. What does that mean? Well, ERCOT is saying they believe they have enough energy to cover this. We shall see if temperatures really do skyrocket this afternoon. And keep in mind, it's not just us. It is the entire state that is boiling right now. Thankfully, yesterday we did get some cooling showers and some downpours, which was nice. Places like Kerrville, Vanderpool, Garner State Park, Bandera did pick up some rain. The airport, nothing. But as you go north of the airport, just north of the airport, at 281 and 1604, they picked up about 0.8 of an inch. That was one of the better totals out there. Spring Branch, Natural Bridge Cavern, Schertz also picking up a little bit of rain, but most of San Antonio stayed dry. We have another chance today. Very similar setup, in fact, where we could get some showers and storms working in our direction later this afternoon and this evening. There is the scene outside. Sun is on its way up. 83 degrees already. So we're getting a head start on these temperatures. 79 Stinson, 78 Kelly, 81 at Randolph, and right now just a light breeze. It feels like 86 when you factor in the humidity. Feels like 82 in New Braunfels. Feels like 84 in Converse. So what a warm start. And the heat index over the next couple days will be really pretty high. We're thinking heat index could go as high as 110 today. It does start to come down some, so we'll see less of a risk for heat illness and that kind of thing. But we can't let our guard down. Even into the middle part of the week, heat indices will still be rather high. Okay, so our forecast going forward now. Again, we expect a slight chance of some showers and storms today, about a 20% chance. They'll develop in the late afternoon hours and then work their way south. It'll be hit or miss. Most of us probably stay dry, but at least there is that opportunity there. By 8 o'clock, most of it goes away. By tomorrow, here we go again. 20% chance between 3 and 8 p.m. Some of these storms could produce some gusty winds, but we're not looking for a lot of severe weather. We had a couple warnings yesterday, but it was mostly for some brief gusty winds with these storms. High pressure has really been the driving factor all of this summer, It doesn't move much, but it does move west a little bit by midweek, and that may help us to reduce our temperatures just a little bit. We'll also be watching the Gulf of Mexico. We mentioned this earlier. Hurricane Center is keeping tabs on a little disturbance that will emerge in the Gulf of Mexico a little bit later, and there is a 30% chance over the next 5 days there could be some development. What does that mean for us? Well, it looks like a lot of this moisture stays east of us, so this may not have much effect on our forecast, but it does bear some watching. 104 tomorrow, 20% chance, 10% chance on Wednesday with a high of 103, and then 99 the high on Friday, because I think we get a little bit more cloud cover depending on how that moisture down in the Gulf of Mexico evolves. Otherwise, triple digits back by the weekend.
I wonder if this is Mother Nature just kind of getting us ready, kind of pre-warming the oven for August.
I hope not. Yeah. And, I keep thinking back to February 2021, where we were then, temperatures in the single digits, and now we're dealing with temperatures almost 100 degrees hotter than that.
Yes. Yep. It's very hot out there. I'm hoping that we get a break in August, randomly.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
All right. Thank you, Justin. 6:49, about 81 degrees.
And what do you feed your furry friend? With so many choices, how do you make sure you are picking the right one? Tomorrow on GMSA, how to choose the perfect pet food.
We had a beautiful beginning to the sunrise this morning. Right now, not bad out there as we take a look at San Antonio International Airport and a busy Loop 410. We're going to wrap up GMSA after this and check back on traffic with our traffic expert, Steven Cavazos.
Coming up on a Monday on GMA, the latest on the wildfire emergency threatening Yosemite National Park. Hundreds of firefighters on the front lines. Will Carr is there on the ground, and I'll be tracking the record heat from the Mountain West to Texas. Also, the latest on Steve Bannon's about face, why former President Trump's close ally says he's willing to testify before the January 6th committee. And we'll tell you where the best paying jobs are right now and how you can negotiate the best deal for yourself. And then there's this big crowd outside because we've got the very popular group TXT here live. It's a K-pop group. You don't want to miss it on GMA.
Back to making baby formula. Abbott Labs' Sturgis, Michigan plant reopening this month after a severe storm shut it down for nearly 3 weeks in June. That closure, another setback in attempts to restore the nation's formula supply. Abbott is now cranking up production of specialized formula. A spokesman says shipping will begin in the next few weeks.
Freight rates are starting to fall as demand for shipping softens. Shippers, though, still paying several times more than before the pandemic. Online marketplace Freightos noting the spot rate to ship a container to the West Coast from China last week was more than 4 times higher than the same week back in 2019.
Flying this summer, odds are growing your suitcase may not make it with you. Lost luggage rates climbing. One baggage tracking company telling the Wall Street Journal the rate of bags reported lost last month was significantly higher than in pre-pandemic 2019, with international and connecting flights the worst. Airline and airport executives mostly blame staffing issues.
Gas prices are coming down. Regular gasoline dropping 19 cents on average over the last 2 weeks, down to $3.83 this morning at the Murphy USA on Loop 1604 and Westwood. That's on the northeast side. Now, experts say the decline comes as the cost of crude oil falls. They are predicting gas prices could drop 10 to 20 more cents.
A reminder that January 6th hearings resume tomorrow, and we are following them closely.
They are set to begin at 9 a.m., and you can watch it right here live on KSAT 12 and on KSAT.com.
Let's check on traffic at about 5 minutes till 7. Stephen?
Yeah, morning rush not shaping up to look quite nice there. Mark Seth, 35 at Cesar Chavez. We showed you this shot a little bit earlier. Slow moving traffic. Unfortunately, a crash reported in that direction, northbound lanes of 35 just minutes ago, and we aren't seeing any real progress, at least from this shot at TransGuide. But the map not looking any better either. 35 northbound at Cesar Chavez. You can see that buildup taking place. Also a slight buildup near I-10, but nothing too drastic. But we're adding another crash to that list just a little further up north here along 281 northbound at Jones-Maltzeberger Road. That crash has gotten progressively worse in terms of the slowdown that we are seeing that is building along 281. So you have to watch out and make sure that you prepare before you leave the door this morning, because a few of those crashes could impact your drive time. But other than that, it's just going to be some active construction spots. So make sure to watch out for those crews and give them a break. Justin?
Thanks, sir. We'll take one last look at the forecast here. We think by noontime, well, by the way, we're in the low 80s right now, but we think by noontime, 98 degrees, 105 by 3 p.m., 107 today, which would be a record 20% chance of some showers and storms this afternoon. This shapes up pretty similar to yesterday. So lucky few will get some rain this afternoon, but the big story will be the heat. Excessive heat warnings in effect. 104 tomorrow, still some record heat potentially. 103 Wednesday. Temperatures start to come down a little bit. We have some small rain chances during the afternoon hours. Closer to 100 Thursday and Friday and into the weekend.
Stephen, Justin, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Happy Monday, and we'll see you back here at 9.
Stay cool, everybody. Good Morning America is coming.